Once you've reviewed the literature and you've created your hypothesis, one of the trickiest steps then is to try to really identify your variables, try to figure out what you truly are measuring. It should go without saying that the number one limitation to science is that we can only study what we can measure. If we can't find a way to measure it, we cannot study it. If you know about martial arts and you know about Tai Chi or you know about Aikido, there's Chi and Ki energies that Eastern believers think exist, right? And it's an interesting concept. You can see trained masters apparently using this energy form to be very good at what they do. Yet science can't measure that. We have no way to measure it, so we can't really study it the way we'd like. So the ultimate limitation is you have to be able to measure the variable. And this is where I think, quite frankly, social scientists or psychologists are the best scientists. That's right, I said it. Because we have to deal with more abstract concepts. Okay, what do biologists have to measure? I mean, heart rate, blood pressure, circulating cortisol levels. What do we measure in psychology? Love, pain, stress, emotional distress. Very hard stuff to actually put down in paper, right? Let's take an example of stress. So here's a young woman over here. She's got a lot on her mind. She's got a tough job. She's working hard. Like many of us, we're pushed. Whether you're taking too many classes and working too many jobs, you got social pressures at home, you can't pay the rent, maybe you just got in a car accident, broke up with your significant other, stress is out there, okay? At what point does stress get the best of us? So this is an abstract concept that we would like to measure in psychology, right? But how do we do it? Because there's good stress. Hey, I'm going to get married. There's bad stress. Oh no, I'm going to get a divorce. There's good stress. I'm buying a house. It's more money than I've ever heard of in my life. And bad stress. I'm getting kicked out of my apartment. Right? So even, I'm graduating. Yay. Oh no, I'm graduating. I have to go get a job somewhere. Okay? So stress is very hard and tricky to measure. And there have been a lot of creative ways to measure it. This little thing right here on the bottom shows a pretty solid, concrete way of measuring stress. Our body has this chemical called cortisol that circulates when we are under high stress. It is our long-term stress hormone, if you will. Okay? And we can take blood tests and measure the stress of the person. Absolutely. Turns out we can even do something easier than that now. Scientists have invented a way to just spit in a tube and send that tube off to a laboratory, then it can measure cortisol. So we don't even have to draw blood anymore. Okay? But this is the notion of taking an abstract concept like stress and turning it into its concrete form, something we can measure via the empirical method. And that is called operationally defining a variable. It's got to be one of the first steps in defining your experiment and how you're going to fulfill your experiment. Operational definition allows us to take an abstract concept and turn it into concrete form.